some 600 million poor people, their livelihoods are linked in different ways to animals, be it animals for traction, for plowing the land they plant, for income, for food, for the manure, which provides the fertilizer. There's a whole array of interactions where livestock is very important.
Often the poor do not have a voice, so I think an important role for ILRI is for giving a voice to the poor by providing reliable research-based information to show the impacts of interventions in terms of poverty.
Livestock grazing is the largest land use system on Earth. More land on Earth is used for livestock grazing than for crops, for urban areas, for anything. We research for the largest land use system on Earth. And the Earth is the thing that's being affected by climate change. And therefore, it should be the business of the Livestock Institute to take the lead.
Welcome to Network Africa from the BBC.
It's 4:30 GMT on the 8th of November. Now, it's bad enough to hear predictions at the UN Climate Change Conference in Nairobi that rising sea levels could lead to major flooding of some of Africa's coastal cities. But according to a new report by the International Livestock Research Institute, the consequences of global warming could be even worse for people living in countries inland, such as Burundi, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Niger, and Chad.
The book actually is targeting areas where you will have big climate change impacts that basically translate in changes in the number of days that crops can grow. Climate change and adaptation is one part of the puzzle, but it's not that you have to stop doing what you're currently doing in terms of trying to address soil fertility issues, trying to address food security. It's the whole integrated solution of what do you do with the livelihood systems and what are the options for smallholders and pastoralists.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tell us what Global Livestock CRSP is all about.
We have developed an ICT-based livestock market information system for especially to feed into the pastoral production areas of the East African region. The information comes into a processor which is based here in ILRI because it's in a coded form. It is entered into our database and the computer decodes that information, and you can see the kind of prices and the different types of animals that are available in that market.
Information really truly is power. And it's power at international and national level, but it's also really very, very effective at the local level. In other words, providing local people with the best information that we have. And sometimes that comes in the form of a new breed of cow that produces more milk, and sometimes it comes in the form of a vaccine, and sometimes it's just a map. It's just information on where to get the best information or what might happen so that people can make better choices.
He's saying that this is the biggest threat for us as the pastoralists. We only have that river down there, and if we fence all along the park, then it means that we are denying the wildlife, livestock and people water. This is a map which was supported by the International Livestock Research Institute, and this document has had a very big impact on the community at the local level and at the national level.
We've learned that the way you do the research is as important as the research itself, and we've been working with community members who are both researchers and facilitators who have helped us link so that the research is being driven by the questions that the community members have.
ነገር ግን ሲሄድ ሲካሄድ በዚህ ችግር ምክንያት እነሱን አግኝተን ኤልሪን ማለት ነው በዶክተር ዲያሎ አኳያ አግኝተን እሳቸውን በቦታው ላይ
For decades, ILRI has been doing some truly innovative work to pursue this joint agenda of poverty alleviation and resource conservation in ways that engage both fundamental research on the one hand and true outreach and engagement with communities of people who do things in development, from senior level policymakers right through to farming and pastoralist communities on the other.
Some of our research with our partners has shown that, for example, in India and Kenya, even places such as Brazil, small-scale mixed livestock production intermixed with crop production is very competitive and is likely to be more sustainable than large-scale industrial livestock production.
Fodder is one of the most crucial variables that determine productivity from livestock. Many of the farmers we are working for fall back on byproducts of crop production, crop residues, because it offers the possibility of producing the fodder without additional input. And data ILRI is getting out from collaboration with crop improvement centers, trying to improve the crop residue quality along the breeding of the crops. Points towards the conclusion that that kind of joint collaboration can improve crops by at least 10%. And that seems to make a very attractive package to farmers.
国际畜牧研究所在首次在云南开展这种在宜养地区的项目研究，它的目的就是通过调查研究宜养地区农户的贫困农户的这样就通过这个技术的应用这些当地的农户只要采用一方面的技术。 他就可以在经济上得到很。
Now on the BBC World Service, a third part in the series which is examining the strengths of small businesses. In Kenya, 1 million entrepreneurs get fresh milk into Kenyan homes.
Amos Amore, part of the team at the International Livestock Research Institute, ILRI, which was trying to boost dairy incomes and remembers how big business wasn't going to let all the new milk entrepreneurs get in their way.
On the one side were these small traders who were able to sell the milk at a cheaper cost to consumers, but on the other side were large-scale milk processors.
It was a clash between big and small. The researchers got researching.
The work that, for example, ILRI has done has demonstrated that there's so much milk being sold in that process that the policy has to change to accommodate selling this kind of milk.
You at ILRI have an astoundingly broad mandate of working across the entire world and across, as far as I can tell, everything that doesn't have roots. You are both inventing and demonstrating this model of research co-produced between the people whose lives it is meant to affect and the people whose lives are centered on laboratories or other formal research institutions.
In Lab 7, we are interested mostly in genetics and how that affects the response of the animals to diseases and how they adapt to the environments that they are living in, with the goal of understanding the mechanisms involved in the interactions of the animal genes together with the stresses they are involved in, and also breeding animals that are better able to produce in environments which are also changing.
ILRI has good partners from the Ethiopian Institute of Agriculture Institute. The main objective of this breeding project is to find ways to improve livestock and agricultural production in Sasa and trypanosomous infested areas of Africa. We are trying to save money that the farmer spends every month to treat his susceptible animal. Maybe next year we will start introducing some of the male calves to the community.
Using a whole range of new technologies, there's a huge opportunity to drive the science of understanding of devastating diseases of livestock and of people. And ILRI is ideally located because it sits in the regions in which these diseases have major impact. It has the resources to help drive the questions, to bring together the international teams that are going to be necessary to solve these problems.
There is also certain lessons which are region specific. So what is maybe good for Nigeria may not be good for Asia, or what is good for Southern Africa may not be same with China.
ILRI started to work on chicken with a team in China and also other countries in Asia, with the aim to understand the pattern of chicken genetic diversity distribution.
This work has found distinct genetic stock of chicken, the result of distinct domestication events. What new genetic evidence are pointing out now is that this genetic stock might respond differently to avian influenza. And understanding this diversity, now we have an entry point to tackle this issue of genetic resistance to disease, and in particular case avian influenza.
We expect by 2020 the total amount of production of animal products will have to double, and it will have to be produced in the developing world, but it has a number of very serious challenges. The resource base is constant. We have a limited amount of land, rangelands, etc., which are actually shrinking in many cases. We have serious environmental problems. We have a big social potential problem that small farmers are going to get squeezed out of these processes. So understanding these issues and thinking about how you optimize the use of livestock in the developing countries is our role.